I have a memory from school about this teacher. He had a very unique way of telling stories. And although we had just 1 hour period in a week, um, he somehow continued the story in the same manner that it was a week ago. And I really like the way he did it. And I'm trying to see where I can match up to his level. Although for me, it's um, a little different right now. Something similar, but I don't have to write any screenplays as such. I already have the content and the message which the universe wants to encrypt through me, I suppose, which is what I want too. So, looks like we have a cosmic handshake. Now that even though I have no idea what's coming, I know this little power of understanding will go a long way. And like I said, it's the intuitions. The moment you have your intentions clear to the universe, you have your answers. The reason why my camera is here is because it also happens quite often that someone does not close the lift door properly. But I could tell that someone has gone to the terrace and will have to come back down this way, and that's when I will get them. This also gives them a reason to close the door harder, as illustrated by the person who will arrive after a few minutes. Now, what was I saying about those houses, those three houses? So I left you midway, but I will make sense after a few days. It will all come together. All these episodes will line up back to back. So the power outages, lengthy power outages, is what made us shift from there. Because sometimes the power outages were so long, as long as 2 days, and it almost felt like Edison was working in his lab. because I could feel the same excitement when the power arrived. But it eventually made us land where we are today. I mean, it solved the electricity problem through the power backup, but who knew that water would need to be sacrificed? Because the water quality was definitely fine in the village. The power here is not under our control either. Anytime they can fiddle with the power too, and I think they've already done that. I remember last year my AC stopped working, but it was towards the end of the humid season before winters, or just on the onset of winters, and I didn't bother then. But what actually happened was that I need to jot this down. Wait. I remember last year my AC stopped working, but it was towards the end of the humid season before winters, or just on the onset of winters, and I didn't bother then. But what actually happened was someone fused the neutral switch, and that's why the AC stopped working, but all other appliances were working fine. And I had no clue about the neutral switch, but if you do, then you would know that other appliances work fine even if the neutral switch is not working. But then it was the electrician who fiddled with that, because he is one of the main culprits behind the scene. And he was in the scene, if you remember in the prior video, near the main gate. And when I said the front man has disappeared, the person in the center who was not supposed to be sitting there, that is the electrician. He is not the watchman, but he arrived for me. He makes this croaking sound like a toad, which I will try to imitate later on. He is the person who wants to look at everybody's teeth. And let me tell you that gone are the days when people discriminated you based on your skin color. Now, people, these people have started discriminating you based on your teeth color. And I think that's where it started initially, when he noticed mine weren't as white, and then comes sneaking behind me every time, making that croaking sound. So the neutral switch. It was another electrician who recognized that. It was just the neutral fuse wire that needed to be replaced. Because if that was fine, then he would have to remove the entire wiring assembly to check the fault. Imagine what mess that electrician would have done if I had called him instead. And that is why I can recognize people before it happens. There are 3 electricians out here, out of which 1 electrician is a good guy, and the other 2 are not. So maybe that's how I'm saved. Looks like Edison is on my side. And my mom's presence too, because if they cut off my power, my mom would get involved too. But what they are trying to do is to separate my mom and me by treating her properly, but not treating me properly. So you see, this is the divide and rule policy that they are tactfully playing, so that when my mom and I have an argument, they can make it look like it was my fault. And I will show you that in another video, which shows that quite clearly, where I made another video near the main gate and I lost my temper. So anyway, we had a borewell set up in the village too, but the TDS was not as high as it is right now at this place. It was manageable, but here the TDS is over 1000. So you can imagine I'm not kidding. Over there, back in the village, we had 3 wells as well inside the boundary. It was more like a farmhouse, just 1 ground floor with 3 bedrooms, hall, kitchen, open garden, rooftop. I wish I could live someplace like that again. Because it's such an irony that although we are in the top floor now, but the below floor owners are creating a problem. Is this all pre-planned? How can this be an irony? Or how can this irony be so coincidental? Because I'm not like my dad. I will jack these guys up if they have any such fishy intentions. Or maybe my dad was innocent, but I can't really. Or maybe my dad is innocent, but I can't really tell. Because he is very intelligent, extremely intelligent. And I don't really know why he wouldn't talk to me much his entire life. Because something tells me that he wouldn't talk because he knew that I wasn't ready to understand whatever he had to say. And I agree, because there have been these intricate awakenings, which leads me to think that he was very wise, very intelligent, but was pretending to be innocent or lacking knowledge, because I was like that too. But I'm getting the picture now. And it's only been recently that I've had the house to myself, because Dad left last year sometime in October, I think. And honestly, I don't even know where he has gone. Has he gone to a forest or an old age home? Or has he taken a new house elsewhere? I have no clue. And now I open my door and start wearing my trousers because I want to check if anyone is on the rooftop, and also that no one walks down quietly without showing up in my cam, because we don't have time to do this again, and we don't have a security cam outside our door, which would have been the best, but let's see what's the best that can be done. So you return with two buckets in one single hand, and on the other hand you're holding the dried clothes, with both hands occupied, and then you want to go down by the lift. Oh wait, he opens the door, closes the door, closes both doors, doesn't know which one was closed incorrectly, and then goes down by the stairs. Oh, and the voice says a lot too, but only if you had realized that if anybody wanted to come upstairs, they would have to walk all the way up because the lift door wasn't closed properly. And if I wouldn't have made this video, then this would have happened more often, right? Now, I know that she does not belong to any of the flats in this building. So, this is one of the suspects for banging the lift door. And if she is allowed to come in here like this, then you can imagine there are many people in this group. A few of them that my camera could catch are enough for me to prove my point. This is a clear case of harassment. Although it doesn't bother me, but let's see where it leads to. Looks like I'm not short of content. And that's a good thing. But my music content is coming up shortly after a few videos that I need to wrap up. It's just not ending cheese. Now, here is someone who was here for a long time, murmuring something. But soon as I walk towards the door, it looks like he is notified. So this is another suspect for banging the lift door. And look at what he does. He sweeps the railing with the same broom that touched the floor. And generally kids hold the railing with their hands, which could go in their mouth. So he isn't qualified for the job. Moreover, any common sense would know how to sweep the stairs from top to down. But he is going down and then pulling the dust onto himself, which I think is foolish too. So here, you can hear that the sound is happening on their ceiling, right below my kitchen floor. And you can hear how my spoons in the glass are making that sound. And I know that there are layers of metal grill fabrication between the floor and their ceiling. So any impact on that would cause it to make another loud gong tong sound. And I think they reached there and I heard that sound. It was very much audible. And then they themselves stopped after that. But now, here and there, although they can't come through, but still want to make that hammering sound. Somewhere, disturbing sounds have been their top priority, over which they plan to create the aggravation, I suppose. But I'm already warned by nature. But the question is as to why with the disturbing sound? Is it because nature is testing me from every angle? Because we haven't even reached the interesting sounds yet. And that is what is the irony about my storyline, is that since I'm all about sound, or I can't be all about sound, but there are these sounds that I have been waiting to unfold as to how I created them. Because obviously they are not finished tracks, but to have accounted for what I did so that I can move ahead from there, if that makes sense. But I'm being stopped almost from making that progress. But anyhow, it needs to be done. So I can feel the disturbance stage is coming to an end, and we can focus on larger, meaningful things, especially on creating that vibe. Because I got to make signature moves relevant to my presentation, and to also improve my delivery. I know minor tweaks here and there can resolve some drawbacks, and I'm open to criticism because people calling me drunk or robotic doesn't bother me as well. And this is me when I'm sleeping. Now I generally like sleeping on the floor. But these guys are playing Farmville again. I know it was something a while back, but it looks like it's gotten into their nerves now, man. What are you? And if you listen closely, the sound is making a blunt impact. Nothing looks like any work is being done. Every hit of that sound is a blunt hit. It looks like hammering on a few layers of cloth over concrete or something, don't you think? You remember the Count of Monte Cristo? No wonder it's been 2-3 years now. But what I strongly suspect are that although they can't dig through, but they have planted microphones, which if nothing, but lets them know when I'm going outside beforehand. And I can listen to their wacky characters in their minds saying, Raja ji padhar rahe hain. Oh, it's not Raja ji, it's Baja ji, you know. Baja ji padhar rahe hain. Because now you will see what Baja ji is going to do.